We're hunting African bushbuck today in South Africa with Avula Safaris. I've got Chris, the owner of Avula, and we have a nice bushbuck spotted, and we're going to try to creep within bow range. Bushbuck are some of the hardest animals to get with using any method, but with an archery equipment and spot and stock, they are an ultimate challenge. I've been trying for 5 trips, and so far, this is the closest I've ever got to a bushbuck, so let's watch. As we moved in to where we last saw the bushbuck, they actually bedded down. There's this buck and a doe as well, and we can't see the doe here. But we just see the tips of the bushbuck's horns laying at somewhere around 35 yards. All we're going to do now is try to get him to stand up. Well, Chris is making a noise, and normally that would get a bushbuck's attention, and they would stand and hopefully give us a shot. Unfortunately, this buck just wanted to hold tight, so we had to keep on trying. The uncut footage of this encounter was over 18 minutes long, and there were several times I got to full draw and we made a noise, but try as we might, we couldn't get that buck to stand and give us a shot. So all we could do is trust our HECS. We were right in the open, and try to get him to stand up by any means possible. Well, I came to full draw 2 times, and the buck didn't stand. And actually, we have another PH on the camera filming this for us, and he decided to try something a little more aggressive. That time I decided not to get to full draw until he actually stood up, and this turned out to be an epic HECS close encounter. Well, this noise finally got the doe's attention, but instead of standing and bolting like you'd expect, she turns and walks right to us. When she finally did snort and run, I knew the buck was going to stand, so I got ready. My shot was high, barely grazing the top of the buck's back, but amazingly, he stopped and watched me reload. I rushed the second shot without getting a solid range, and unfortunately went right over the buck's back. But still, he took a couple jumps and stopped once again.
45. If that ain't a HECS deal, I don't know what the hell is. You don't know where we were. The wind went around. Let's go put another one. Unreal. Huh? I'm not sure that was where I was aiming, but that's what I hit him. I swore I hit him the first time, but
you got him on the back.
It was just back.
Yeah. Your second shot was just over.
Yeah.
Well, this is my first full day of hunting with Avula this year. We kind of overdid ourselves a little, Chris. Bushbuck has been eluding me. This is my 5th time to Africa. It's the first time I've ever even shot at one. The closest I've ever been to one. And I guess we got pretty close, huh?
First time for me ever to get so close to a bushbuck as well.
And how long have you been outfitting?
18 years.
Well, like I told you to begin with, you know, crazy things happen when you wear HECS,
100%.
and it just does. This was a great example of that. I mean, obviously we were in the wide open. We were making noise, so they knew something was there.
Yeah.
They stood up. The female actually walked to us. Finally, she barks, and finally this guy stands up. And our dilemma there was he was laying down, and it was really hard to get a good range on him. And so we were guessing a little bit. My first one was a little bit higher than it needed to be, a little bit further back than it probably should have been. So the animal's actually hit. Took 3 or 4 jumps, stopped, watched me reload, went out a little bit more. He was never over 45 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, the 45 yards was the last shot. And, you know, you gave me a good yardage on that one. So Probably was not aiming exactly there, but it worked. Anyway, a great HECS moment, a great time with a Vula. The other thing I got to say about this is a cattle ranch, dairy farm. It is low fence, it's free range, it's wild as they get, and you guys hunt them with guns here all the time. So, you know, I always get those haters that say, "Oh, it's this, it's that." This is as wild as Africa gets, 100%. And on one of the hardest animals to get here. So, I couldn't be happier. It's my first animal with my Mach 33, so that was good. And hey, like I always say, we put the HECS on another one.
Well done, Mike. When the owner saw us this morning, they looked at our suits and they thought, yeah, how are they going to get a bushbuck with a bow? He says, how far can you shoot?
Yeah,
and Mike said, well, at least 40, 50 I want to get close to. He was just laughing at us. But
yeah, I don't think he had much faith in us.
No. But you did it, Mike. Well done.
Like I said, folks, if you ever want to go to Africa, the only place to go is Avula Safaris. I'm telling you right now. You know, Chris owns the place. Every one of his PHs is top notch. This is my second time with you guys, and the first trip was phenomenal. Cape Buffalo, all kinds of stuff. But I got to tell you, this one tops the Cape Buffalo even. It really does, because it is so difficult to get these things. And, you know, you knew where they were. You actually picked this thing up laying down in the grass. All you could see was the tips of his horns. And, I mean, it took me a long time before you could actually show it. I said, oh, finally I see it. So, like I said, Avula is the place to go if you're going to go to Africa. You'll have a great time. They know bow hunting. They know rifle hunting too. But, you know, not every outfitter over there knows bow hunting, and their places are giant. It's no penned hunts. It's none of that stuff, which you'll get a lot of times in Africa. So, you know what? This is the start of a hell of a good trip.
Definitely.